There's a lot of division in the country right now, and it's hard to find common ground. But there has to be somewhere, some place that we can agree on something. It might not be abortion or gun rights or even the Constitution, unfortunately. So let's take it all the way back to basics. Human decency. Can we stop for a minute and agree that basically humans should be decent to each other? On Thursday, the congressmen and women gathered for a friendly game of baseball. I can only imagine that the first congressional baseball game was to get together and have a little fun, blow off some steam. Just celebrate being Americans with a game that's basically representing the entire country. Plus, it raises money for charity. It's for the Boys and Girls Club of DC, so the stakes weren't very high. The game is set up Democrats versus Republicans. However, the game had two unfortunate incidents that nearly ruined the charity event. We've gotten so divided, we can't even play games for charity anymore. So the first incident, during the sixth inning, Representative Linda Sanchez, Democrat, California, decides to flip the middle finger to the entire dugout of the Republican team. Why? What did that accomplish, besides showing horrible sportsmanship and a general low-class dirtbag person? It was unprovoked and unnecessary. It's just a childish, pointless gesture. It's not like the Republicans didn't already know you hate them. Now everyone knows that you are low class. This congresswoman is incapable of being a decent human being for even a few minutes. This was covered by multiple TV cameras on live TV. I shudder to think what she does when no one is looking. Now, this is a Democrat from California. But let's put that aside for a minute and pretend that no affiliation is considered. What should the punishment be for a representative of our country when they behave like this? Working under the assumption that both parties are treated the same, I would suggest a censure, perhaps being removed from a few committees until the next election at least. But let's be realistic, the rules only apply to one side. And here's where we get back to basic decency. This type of behavior should be condemned by everyone across the board, no questions asked. Although I won't hold my breath. I did say there were two incidents, didn't I? Believe it or not, the event was protested by climate activists, of course. The news called them left-wing protesters, but that might be a framing trick. So let's see if that's accurate. Rainbow bandana, love is love shirt, a we won't back down shirt in the back, a handmade tail costume, green for Roe v. Wade, leftists, okay. Anyway, they were yammering on about climate crisis and some other nonsense, so they got violent, as they always do, and a few of them got arrested. These climate emergency people are out of their minds, and I can prove it. Call any real estate agent that is selling beachfront property anywhere on the East Coast or the West Coast and ask them if you can get a 30-year mortgage on beachfront property. Well, they'll absolutely say yes, because banks will absolutely lend you the money, because they know that asset will still be there in 30 years. Banks don't loan money for assets that will be technically and figuratively underwater in 10 years. So back to the human decency issue. These climate activists almost always resort to violence or some other form of obstruction when they don't get their way. They don't have the ability to be decent. Unfortunately, same goes for that congresswoman. She's a bad person. And that's not a casual statement. She is rotten right down to the core. It has nothing to do with her political party. It is only a reflection of her own actions. Some people say the only way forward is a civil war or peaceful divorce. Can we just try to be decent to each other first? It's not hard. Just stop treating people like they are your mortal enemies if you disagree on something. The next time you're in a disagreement with someone, step back. Try saying this: I disagree, but that's okay. I hope in the future I can be persuasive enough to change your mind. That's it. See how it works. You can always go back to being a jerk next time if you don't like the results.